Excellent. Our next presenter is Susan Jacobson with Big Canyon Acres.
Hello. So hopefully everybody can hear me, and I appreciate this awesome opportunity to meet all of you guys today. So yeah, I'm Susan Jacobson. I own Big Canyon Acres. We're a 48-acre fruit and nut orchard, and actually now event venue getting started outside of Peck. And I'm actually a rookie farmer, and I'm kind of here. I've a lot of the other producers shared information with the coalition, and I have been endowed to share that with you today, kind of not just from my perspective, but several of us. So just, you know, at the onset of the pandemic, also a little bit more, sorry, on my background. From the onset of the pandemic, in addition to working on my farm, I was working in development as a fundraiser for the Idaho Food Bank. So sorry. And that allowed me to see a variety of perspectives, you know, just in relation to the impact the pandemic has had on food. And then I led the Palouse-Clearwater Food Coalition Food Access Working Group during that time. So, and I apologize for the dogs. Let me mute 1 second and tell them to please stop. We have a barn being built, and there's a lot of construction, and every time they go by the window now, it's happening. So anyway, at the, I know I was gonna say everybody's dogs will start barking. That seems to be the way it is. Welcome to the grace of living in the virtual world. And I don't have any grandbabies crawling over me yet, but definitely have dogs. Anyway, so at the onset of the pandemic, you know, at first it seemed like it was gonna be, oh, is it business as usual? You know, we're getting ready for harvest. We're headed into that season. Start thinking about markets, what's going on with the CSAs for those of them that had it. We were guardedly optimistic, maybe that it wouldn't go on for a long time, that it would be over, you know, in a matter of weeks. And then just the whole landscape changed. You know, we saw what was happening in the rest of the country. The western side of the slope was hit so hard. And I'm so sorry. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can.
As we all calm our dogs down, I just want to make a note that Tim put his email in the
chat. So sorry. You know, typically they just lay there and sleep all day while I'm on these calls. But anyway, okay. And so, you know, we just started really looking at it, and we were seeing the quarantine and surplus caused by schools and restaurant closures and shortages of supply chain, interruption. Children were home, farmers became teachers. Children became salesmen, you know, all kinds of things. And like in our coalition meetings, we were hearing huge concerns now, talking about the surplus, specifically, as Colette had mentioned earlier, you know, what's going to happen with the animals, and a heightened sense of concern, you know, where are we going to have to slaughter them? There's no USDA places around here that we could have them processed and donate to the food banks. What can we do? How can we prevent this huge waste that we're seeing happen with milk being poured down drains? But then a glimmer of hope came, and farmers markets were declared to be essential, and food banks, you know, we were able to start providing more, at least in response to the people that needed it. And so as we went along, you know, the response to the changes, farmers and ranchers educated themselves on how to operate safely during COVID-19. They modified their marketing systems to provide both customer health and their own health. And not all of the original or regular customers could attend the markets, but those that did, across the board, everybody said patience and grace, you know, were there, and people were willing to just kind of deal with the changes on a daily basis. So just great flexibility, if you will. Yep, this is a picture from Orofino Farmers Market. And then a lot of the ranchers and farmers expanded their online ordering and sales, or started up online ordering and sales. And so early in postseason farmers, we had local value added food weekly box. One of the first pictures was a Brush Creek Creamery that started weekly goodie boxes. And other farmers kind of got together and created these value added boxes. Then the selection of farm products expanded, including meat and fresh veggies, and the season was able to continue on. Even a lot of people are still offering season. Moscow Roasting Company had free deliveries in spring. Websites were updated, point of sale system graded. Customers were encouraged to order and pay in advance when available. CSA, you know, no contact delivery, new delivery points and extended season, like Hands and Hearts Farm in Moscow, the Moscow no contact door-to-door delivery. Affinity Farm, like she said, they changed CSA pickup locations from farm to the parking lot of Hunga Dunga to get the CSA members to patronize Hunga Dunga. So everybody just kind of reaching in. And then self-service farm stands, the Deep Roots Farm in Moscow or Wing Over Farm in Moscow. Farmers markets, there we were, the Motor Inn Market in Moscow. And additional workers were needed to assist with order fulfillment. So you had people ordering online, picking up there. Booth redesigned to promote display, no contact purchasing. Hand washing stations, that was another thing. Masks being available, customers loading their purchases into bags that they brought. And each vendor had to be 6 feet apart. And then that picture there that you see, that's actually in my kitchen. You see the drapery behind me there. We pressed apples for the first time this year. And so we made cider, but somebody mentioned earlier about the lack of canning supplies. Just like calling every Walmart, Winco, please tell me when you get them in, please. And then not looking like this awful hoarder of taking everything. So what's next? Just continuing implementation of the things that we learned that were valuable to our customers. The customers ordering online, delivery options, extended seasons, just extreme advance ordering of necessary supplies, because who knows still as things go on, you know, just really being ready, stocking up. Like I've been keeping my eyes open and taking a, you know, few jars at a time or looking what different things are that I can use. And then other items that weren't available so that we have them and are ready. And then just finding ways to work together, you know, like Brush Creek did. So that's kind of the fast update with the dog.
We do have one question so far, and encourage other folks to put them in there. How have the safety measures impacted pricing at some of these farm stands?
You know, I think that a lot of, in talking with some of the other producers that we have when I'm at the Orofino Farmers Market, we've got to have extra staff, like we said. And so being able to have kind of a separate order pickup area where you're dealing, and then also dealing with the people that are coming through that didn't place pre-orders. So you, maybe if you had been able to run as a single person in the past, now you can't anymore. And then just making sure all the extra sterilization. I mean, I think we all have across the board had to purchase additional supplies that we didn't have in the past. And then if you weren't online, getting help, you know, spending money to have somebody help get you set up. I mean, a lot of unexpected expenses, but in return, I mean, it's just my second year, but I doubled my business over what I had the year before. And we did hear that a lot of people expected a big drop off, but I know when we were on in our food access working group meetings, people were pleasantly surprised that they'd had their best year ever. So, you know, there's been a lot of eye-awakening moments and a lot of good things, I guess, that came out of it too. And now the dogs are silent.
It's like kids, the dog's talking.
I swear.
When you're talking. So thank you, Susan, for giving that overview.